renewed my main master's license,
Yeah,
electrical license.
what's that cost?
Went up $20.
How much does it cost normally?
100. Well, it was 160, 100 maybe. June I got it up to my mains.
Just look at Facebook and make sure, since I got things working, that they're really working. It's working?
You don't have faith in yourself, Bob? I mean, Dave?
The problem is that system has been a little quirky.
Yeah.
It's a relatively new system.
Yep, it's working.
All right, good. All right, this is the Select Board workshop for April 17th, 2025. We have as guests 3 members of the ATV Club, which is
Land Chair Rider.
Land Share Riders. If you would just give your names for the record.
Tom Espinosa?
Hi, Tom.
Bob Strauss.
Hi, Bob Strauss.
Mike Seavey.
And Mike. Very good.
I'm president, Mike's a trail master.
Okay.
Bob's just a dedicated helper.
Well, that's-
The muscle.
All right, and you want to talk about grants, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Talk away.
Well, I'm not sure, who's Aaron? There he is. I did give you a copy, here's a copy of the grant paperwork, so whoever wants to look at that down the road. It's kind of confusing, but this is our first time trying to make this happen. And the reason being is, A, we don't have the club funds nor the equipment to fix the trails properly.
Okay.
And so we have some larger projects. Woodward Road,
Yep.
that's going to be, it's going to be one of our trails. We're getting ready to put some money into that. Already got permission from plantation folks and all that stuff. So that's going to be fixed up for ATVs to pass through. That needs some drainage work, needs some fill brought in. We were going over the top of Moulton Hill, but there's a new owner there, so we can't go that way anymore. So now we can
Took
detour.
over John David Morrill's place.
And so anyway, so that's our best detour right there. Also, the parking lot on Hasty Road. The owners, I've learned that conservation people don't like erosion at all.
Right.
So that's something we need to keep an eye on, and we do. And but the parking lot is a big puddle, and they want us to move the parking lot to the other side. You know, bring in fill, put in drainage, and all that sort of stuff. Been talking about it for years. Finally, trying to get it done for them. It's another project from Porter. I haven't actually seen it yet because I haven't been able to go anywhere recently. So that one, what was that one up there on, near the road?
That's when Moses Chapman.
Up on Moses Chapman, there's something up there we gotta put an estimate together for. And also the Conservation Francis Small.
Yeah. Small Heritage Trust.
Yes, originally when they took over Devil's Den, they, I met with them. I understood where they were coming from. And to make it so it would work for them and us, wasn't enough support on their end. So what, about 6 months later maybe, they called me up. So they got a hold of me. Said that they've had a change of heart, that they want the trail to be more of a multi-use trail. I don't know if this benefits them being able to get more grant. I don't know the actual motive behind that, but now that was about a year ago. But there was a piece of property, the hill that went up there, some other guy owned. Now a different conservation group has bought this property and is holding it for the funding to come through from Francis Small. So I thought that was going to be a next year event. They called me 2 weeks ago and said, Tom, we want to make this happen. Apparently, trail inspector, the guy we work directly with, he's gonna be there. There's gonna be another guy named Steve Thistlewood. He's been in, the Warden's Department and fishing, fisheries, and for some reason, he's calling this like a pilot project to try to get conservation groups and wheeler groups to open these trails up to multi-use. So I don't know exactly what they're thinking about this pilot plan. It's like, well, Landshare's been working with plantation folks for quite some time. And so anyway, so that's going to be, they're going to have a grant coming for their end, and we're going to try to pull a grant on our end to try to make this work. And but that one's going to have a lot of rules, I guess we'll call it, and you know, things that we'll have to
So,
dig
you
into.
know, you're talking 2 towns and 2 counties.
Yep.
Right,
Okay.
but that doesn't matter. It doesn't have
Well,
to be
explain
done
to him what
separate.
You need to understand what's going on with the state.
Right.
The state has taken the line that they want everybody to be using municipal grant system. In the past, what they had was they would give us a certain amount of money that we could expend to maintain those trails. That was a trail grant for the club. But you could never do any big projects because there wasn't enough money.
12,000 max, so if you have 500 miles, you get 12,000.
So now the
So-
state is pushing all the clubs to go to municipal grants where multiple towns could be in one grant.
Yeah.
But it has to be one town that is the people
The
of
sponsor,
grant.
yes.
Sponsoring, yes.
The sponsor of the grant, or whatever it is.
Right.
And so they're pushing, they want all clubs to try to go to municipal grants. And what that entails, so you know right up front, is that it's guaranteed money. Once these projects are approved with a contractor and they approve them, it's guaranteed money once a month for whatever the bills are. But the key to that is it's on the town is the holder of the grant, like.
Yeah.
Now, you could appoint the president or the trailmaster as the person that runs the grant for the town.
Yeah,
In
this
other words,
is,
he's the
Right, I mean,
supervisor of the grant.
basically all the legwork and stuff will be done by the club,
But
except for an occasional review if you folks would like to just make sure we're doing what we say.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
doing.
sure if we get that far.
Right, so,
the kicker is that the town expends the money for the month, and then the state sends a check.
yes, so they don't
So that's
send
where the-
us the money.
That's the weird one.
That's the weird thing.
So that's why you need to know right up front that that's
Yeah.
asking the town to front it for 30 days, and the state says that's the only way we're gonna do it. And then they write a check at the end of the month and guarantee money, and I went, well, make sure the town knows exactly.
Probably means
Right.
you're carrying it for 2 months.
yeah, and all that's in this packet we gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we were,
I think they pay you pretty quick because there was some talk about clubs paying for this stuff themselves, and they go moving on to the next project, they wouldn't have money. And they said, no, you're gonna get it like real quick once you put the paperwork in, so I would hope it's not 90-day turnover.
Well,
Yeah.
you never know, I mean,
now to
So-
answer your question from when I was here 2 weeks ago, and you just mentioned now about cross counties.
yeah.
We watched this,
Training
seminar
video.
on, the grants. And a lot of your big clubs up north, it's the only way they can do it because they got so miles of trails,
And some of it's not even real towns, it's
you know, so
Territory.
that's why they go to one
RD2D.
town.
So, yeah, that's kind of how it works, basically, you know, what do we offer the town? Basically just recreation. There's no access to stores or anything like that at this point. And, so the goal is to, you know, so the state came around last year for the first time in this area. They send a guy out there, he GPSes all the trails, he does a report on all the existing trails. And so they gave us discrepancy list. And so all that, moving forward, the way they want to do it is to have these discrepancy lists and the clubs fix their trails up and get them up to what they like before they'll let you expand your system.
And that list is before this grant, is that what you're saying?
No, it's all one thing.
Okay, so that part of this.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
part of it, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And actually, I can make copies for you. This is from last year's. And they noted with pictures and they gave latitude and longitude, see,
Actually, Debbie can-
upgraded.
So we could put in five major projects, they may only approve two of them,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, so the state approves the amount of projects. Once you hand them, this is what we'd like to do, and this is how much money it's gonna cost. And then they say yay or nay to each and every one of those projects.
There'd probably be 4 or 5 projects I try to write up.
yeah.
And I'd be willing to bet that the conservation ones would get approved before the other ones because it's more involved and needed, I guess. Because it's, you're dealing with big landowners.
And how much would you guess a monthly allocation would be?
So,
Just tell them what the estimate is on Woodward Road for that chunk.
Yeah. On Woodward Road, we have an estimate of fixing it for 17,500. I just,
we break it all up over the summer.
just hit it.
Doesn't have to all be done at once.
Right.
The work on Woodard Road, is that after the houses?
Yes, it's after
Right
the
at,
house.
it starts right at the last house,
Yeah,
comes up to the top of the hill.
yeah. And so technically who owns that? Or is it a town road? Is it plantation property?
Maintained.
Okay, so it's a class 6, is that what they call it? No.
Usually
Which-
they call it a class 6 unmaintained.
I don't know if you guys seen that lately.
If we go-
If you ever been up there, up to the top of the hill off of Woodward Road, but if there's ever a forest fire up there, you ain't getting up there. And by doing this too, that's gonna give a better path for any
Intersection of Page Road.
fire, ATVs and stuff like that to get up there. Because right now, it's a mess. There's a lot of washout. Yeah, so I do have the quotes.
We're getting multiple estimates for everything, so
Yes.
one guy might have a better angle for less, who knows?
Right.
Have they given you any indication on like the percentage? Because I know they say
Okay.
up to 90%.
Right, so there's 10% that the club, the deal is that the town is supposed to pick up the 10%, but the club will take care of the 10%, so it's a complete wash.
Yeah.
As far as the funds. It's just a matter of getting the funds and somebody dealing with the checkbook, I guess.
Well, the thing is you have to expend it for them to pay it back. Instead of them giving you the
Right.
grant.
Yeah, they
It's a
won't do
reimbursement
it.
program.
it's a
Yeah.
reimbursement.
That's part of that 30 million that got.
Yeah, we have
the main
quite a bit of
building
money
up.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, multi-use trails, basically horseback, bicycles, mountain bikes.
Yep.
I know Devil's Den, that's what they're talking about, a walking trail and
Yep.
to get up there.
I believe all of our trails are considered multi-use.
Yep,
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
Also, getting back to the money, just a rough number, I'm thinking, for everything we're thinking of doing, which probably isn't gonna get approved, I think I'm gonna write, it's probably gonna be around 50. But who knows, it'll probably get approved maybe 30, and then that would be broken up over the 4 months of the summer.
Right.
Because the price on the Hasty Road parking area, I spoke with the contractor and he's gonna print that out for me. He said, because he has to fix where the parking area is now, fix the drainage there that's washing out there. There's probably a 3 foot on the left-hand side going down that hill,
Yeah.
washout. And then moving the parking ride to the right side just down a little ways and leveling that off, you know, and making it big enough so people can drive in with their trucks and trailers and be able to just spin around and park comfortably.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, the goal isn't it for to be like a yearly event to get grants. But we're hoping to move the club forward, clean up what we got, open a couple trails maybe next year. Because we don't have any loop trails, you know, it's kind of just back and
Yeah.
forth. Although there is over 240 people in Porter and Parsonsfield that have registered ATVs, which I was kind of surprised. Because ain't many of them in our clubs, like we're
How
all,
many members we have? 80?
yeah, most of them are from out of state.
We're on Heathbrook Road and New Road. And we'll be doing some work on both of those roads this year from the club standpoint, even if without that. So I mean, which maintaining the roads that we're using in Parsonsfield, putting in some culverts and fixing things up so that they're good and safe. And it also gives a good access for fire and rescue too, which our map is given to fire and rescue, which has all, you know, the trail system on it alphabetically.
Yeah.
And so that they could respond to, you know, anybody if there was an injury or something like that out there.
We had just to point out one, we had a incident where a four-wheeler flipped over. And it didn't take us long to get that fixed. Charlie fixed that. Just because, you know, if you've got a young kid on a four-wheeler,
Mason,
you don't want them to get hurt.
In Maine, a 10-year-old can ride, as long as he got that ticket.
Yeah.
My grandson just got it.
Yeah. What, is that a training thing?
As long as they're with an adult, they can drive anything.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
Isn't there something about riding alone?
Isn't there a
No,
class?
they can't ride alone.
crossing major roads.
Oh,
States highway. You gotta be 14. You have to take a class.
Did you want to make copies of the other thing, the other package?
I did, one the 4th and one the 5th.
What's hard for that to get through at least to the municipality,
I
like,
say I've got two of the same thing, I think.
Oh,
No, 4th and 5th.
one says north, one says south.
Oh, okay,
Oh, I only noticed the dates.
Yeah.
got it.
the state doesn't let it do it any other way when we use it, like in this case, Parsonsfield and Porter, where we would have projects. And you can only use one municipality as the grant.
Yep.
So kind of hard, because if we wanted to, if we got approved to do the one in Porter, well, Parsonsfield is the one that's actually putting the money up for the month. If some bill comes in, that we get the money back at the end of the month. So it's and they go, well, that's not our town. Well, the state says, you gotta try to explain to the different towns, it's a process. It's but it's also, you're asking a town to put up money for something that's being
For
done
Porter?
in a different town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 50,000 that you just brought up.
Yeah.
Is that for both?
That would be the whole package.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta figure the, Woodward Road, we're at 22,017.5 on that.
Yep, somewhere in there, yep.
And, Hasty Road,
Yeah.
you're at least looking at 15,000.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not, I was just
Yeah.
trying to understand if
Okay.
that 50,000 covered.
I think it will take care of the bulk of it, because we're not gonna get it all.
Yeah.
So,
We could, the way they showed it on the training video is, basically it's gonna be broken down. Woodward Road, Hasty Road, Devil's Den. There will be portions of it on the trail report that it will be broken down by the number that the state has it written as. You know, so everything will be broken down good. And we do have the money for our percentage.
Yeah.
There's no problem there.
yeah, we got some money, we just don't
Yeah.
have that kind of cash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the goal is to keep the trails safe and open for the
Sure,
locals
sure,
and,
yeah. Yeah.
try to keep landowners happy, which we're really fortunate, because we only really had like 7.
Have you talked to Porter yet?
No, I
Started here.
started here just because I live in Parsonsfield.
Well, actually, Porter wouldn't even have anything to do with it, because the municipal grant would be under Parsonsfield.
Right,
See, that's the thing the state's making
That's-
us do.
Problem.
They're making you do multiple towns under one town.
Yeah.
And
That's,
so the only thing that, if it wasn't feasible to support Porter from Parsonsfield, then we'd have to keep whatever grants we need in this town, and then next season,
Porter,
we could do Porter, which was the original plan to begin
Yeah.
with the Devil's Den people. And, so I don't have a problem if that's the way it ends up going.
just
There's some other things we'd like to do in Parsonsfield.
Yeah,
Who do we deal with that they could speak to from the state? What was that guy, gentleman's name?
Brett
Brett.
Blank.
you can email that to me, Selectman Parsonsfield, that
Okay.
information.
Yeah,
please.
email, LeBlanc is the main guy.
Yeah, because he probably has more details than what we can get.
Yeah. And, we deal with Colin, Perkins, I don't know if you know him, he's the forester for the plantation, and he's a good reasonable guy. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really understand why the state wouldn't just say, okay, you're gonna have to write 2 different grants for each town, which, that would've been a lot of work.
Yeah.
But.
And we're still learning.
We're still learning
Yeah.
all this stuff.
they've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, this isn't anything new, it's just
No.
they're trying to get their trails improved, they got some extra money, they wanna spend it, so they get it again, basically.
yeah.
And, but,
End result is everything that you fix is free.
yeah,
That's the end result.
Yeah, that part I like. It's the logistics leading up to that.
Exactly.
right.
I mean, I'm not sure right off the top of my head whether we can just agree to that, whether we'd ask the town.
Right.
There are legal issues with us paying for projects in another town.
Yeah.
And that, I'm surprised.
But they seem to make them
I
cut it
think you'd
on,
have
That
to
would
go
be
to town
some-
vote for that. Yeah.
so that would kill it for this year anyway.
Yeah, because up north, that's all they do. I mean, we're new to this, and they've been doing these grants for,
5 years.
Yeah.
Municipal grants everywhere up north.
you know,
Because it's, they do a lot more mileage than us. We're doing 30 miles,
Right.
but they're doing 90, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
bucks.
lot of area up there and a lot of system.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they
brings in
can,
a lot
and
of
they
money
can,
up there.
and they can do both snowmobile, because you guys don't use the same trails as snowmobiles, right?
some we
Some of
don't.
them
Sure,
we do.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, but up there, it's one and the same.
yes.
Yeah, so it's, they can get a grant for the snowmobile side, they can get a grant for the, for the ATV side.
It's like the Shapley Club, they're all one now.
Yeah,
It's ATV and snowmobile.
yeah,
And I think you're gonna see more of that because
probably,
the snowmobile season is very short.
if it exists at all.
Exactly.
Been lucky last
Yeah.
year.
This application back?
No, I made that copy for you folks,
Yeah,
and, I'll send you some phone numbers to contact people.
Yeah, if you would, and send us your contact information.
Yep, I'll send all that,
If you
and,
think that the town's gonna have to send that to a vote, which would be next year,
Be this fall.
we would need to know that because of this fall,
Yeah.
which would be too late anyway. Because we've got a real limited amount of time to put in
Yeah.
for our regular trail grant,
yeah.
which we always do every year, but now we can't do
You
that
can't have
anymore.
both, you get one or the other.
Yeah,
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 you
'cause
get
this
one
grant
or
here,
the other.
yeah.
So we need to just, that's why we,
Yeah,
So
you
you're
can either
saying
do
the town needs to vote on doing this for just Parsons Field?
Well,
Or
The money.
Maybe.
you would need to discuss that. Yeah, frankly, I'd have to talk to our lawyer about it.
Yeah.
Whether we could just agree to that, because expending money that we have not allocated,
Right,
even though we're gonna get it back,
right.
Right.
except in emergency situations, is not a good thing.
yeah, because the deadline on this one's May 31st.
Yeah. it just-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's to get it all in.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot to it. Because do you guys have like I know one of the big keys that they require is written permission from every landowner.
we have this.
That's
Okay.
pretty easy though, we already
Yeah.
have all
Yeah, like I said, there's only 7, so.
Plus, we're all insured for
Yeah.
like 2 million.
Yeah.
Why do they want municipalities involved in the payments?
Because they don't, I guess they don't trust the
Well, they
clubs with the bigger chunks of money, I don't
They
understand.
wanna have contractors perform the work, not Bob in there with his Kubota tractor trying to fix
Well,
everything.
who's gonna be hiring the contractor?
We do.
Well, okay. And those requirements about
We have to
that, you know,
get
like
bids.
W-9s and all
Yeah.
We have to
that.
get bids and take the bid, we choose the guy.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they
Well,
want,
it gives what it is it gives the municipality the opportunity to be the project director. So you can either have me be a project director, or you can have one of these guys be the project director. And so basically, if you have me do it, then I'm the one that's working with getting contractors and doing all that because it's the town funds. You know, or you can say, hey, you know, we're just going to use our checkbook to float float it for the 30, 60 days, whatever
Like
it
we have on
is.
Hasty Road, right? And you say, okay, there's a muddy spot on Hasty Road that needs to be straightened out. Well, because the trail is on Hasty Road, we could put that as a project, and it could be 30 grand to fix that corner that goes up around Hasty Road where it gets mudded up, and it would be free to the town. The town would get Hasty Road repaired without any expenditure to them, other than the fronting it for the month, or whatever it is.
Right.
They told us that the check would be immediate.
and you would think that,
So they've been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah, the check's
Sorry.
The check's in the mail.
Yeah, right.
and I think another reason they might be doing it, going through the town is, because if we hire Joe Smo contractor, and all of a sudden, okay, he's gonna divert the water off our trail, well, into Joe's land that might abut that trail, didn't have to get permission.
Who's gonna get sued?
Yeah,
Who?
oh,
The town or you guys?
No, us. Or the contractor, if you didn't do it right.
Yeah.
but I think that's why they
Nah,
have
it's not,
That's what the state has to approve.
yeah, that's
Right,
right.
well, we got some reading, or at least I have some reading to do, since these documents are new to me. And, we'll have to have discussion among the board and, take it further than that, probably, to see what the legal implications are.
Yes.
Well, I know they're doing it all over the state, so
Yep.
it's gotta be, they must have found some ways around this, I guess, I don't know.
Money.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, I don't doubt it.
Well, I'm sure each municipality just automatically knows that it's gonna happen and they plan for it.
Yeah.
right.
You know, they can, and they can work on the trail up to their border and they say, all right, you know, our project stops at our town line.
Well, they're not doing that.
Well, it's funny that
Like
it's coming
Greenville.
down this way with these grants.
Let's take Greenville, for instance.
Yeah,
Greenville, is the sponsor of the municipality grant up there. And that takes in, Greenville, it takes in Rockwood, it takes in, I think all the way to Cacagio.
Yeah,
So they're the municipality for the grant itself.
right.
So it has multiple towns, but Greenville is the ones that are the head of the grant.
Yeah.
Well, they got all the ATV traffic,
Yeah.
places to stay, so that all kind of
Right.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Where it's kinda, we don't have hotels, motels, gas, food. We can't even get in at Giza Falls.
Yeah,
We can't even get to Candy store.
You know, it shut down. One person.
Oh,
and we have a pretty good relationship, because I remember, I've been with the club 3 years now, and, we had a problem on Hasty Road. And we were driving down, I was driving down last year, Hasty Road, and the lady, I stopped and said hi, and she was so happy. She says, thank you guys so much for doing what you did to solve the problem between the dust and you gotta have, there's always gonna be 5% that think they're evil Knievel, you know, and so we posted new speed limit signs, and they were very happy. There's a couple of places that we work with landowners and
we get calcium chloride out.
gravel.
Yeah, we give out a lot.
Yep.
Keep the dust down.
Yeah.
We try to be proactive to keep people happy. So we're gonna make it work.
yep,
And so far,
So
so.
otherwise, it's, you know, they shut you down and all of a sudden you gotta find a way around it. And it's
Exactly.
not worth it for
You
you.
know, and I'm under the complete mind thought that this is their property, we do what they want.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like these
Well, how many
people, it's like,
registered-
shut up, it's their property.
How many registered wheelers are there in Parsonsfield?
I think 140,
40? Something like that?
yeah, maybe.
Same thing with Hope Quarter.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's almost 300 wheelers that are being represented by the club. And that's, you know, that's a lot of people that get to recreate, so it's good to have a trail system. Is keep them on one spot and not just going wild.
Yeah.
They still gonna do that to some degree, you can't,
Yeah,
Well,
stop.
especially as the season expands, right? I mean, you know, you're able to start now
Yeah,
and go
we
through
don't open
October.
until
Yeah.
May 15th.
Yeah,
right, yeah, we kinda hold it back to get the trails ready.
yeah.
Let it
Now you
dry
don't have to
up.
deal with all the ruts.
But
Let
the-
it dry up,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's definitely, I see more of a push with the state pushing wheeler stuff, because the money for snowmobiles ain't coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you ever, if you guys wanna see these, we'd be more than happy to take you guys out. You know, whether it be in our side by side wherever, to show you these. Woodward Road, yeah, you're gonna, yeah, you can walk up it, but it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah.
it's a good walk.
But we do have a nice trail system, we have a picnic spot on the South River.
Yeah.
Another, picnic table down there on, Randall Lake. Lookout, and,
Yep.
got some other things in the works.
I'll show you. This picnic site,
Yeah, the picnic site came out great.
I adopted it. Okay, it's a great spot, and I do have a picture of it here somewhere.
On the south.
Yeah,
South River's
Oh,
got
right
good
there.
fishing.
It's the only site on the plantation.
that was all grown up. Ace Hardware donated some picnic tables.
Oh, yeah.
We cleaned it all up.
Yeah.
It's a, you quote me if I'm wrong, a state approved primitive campsite?
It's a
Is it-
plantation,
Okay, yeah,
but nobody uses
yeah.
it, so we
Right.
took it over.
But it's a beautiful spot. People can go fishing there.
Right where the old Parsonsfield Road comes across.
We have a great
Come
relationship
over and-
with the plantation.
Yeah.
They've let us do a couple things now, because I just suck right up to these people, whatever you want.
Yeah, but we show
And
them.
that's what you gotta do.
Yeah. And we show them we're
It's their
willing to do
property,
the
we
work.
wanna use it. What can we do to
Yeah.
please you?
Oh, yeah. You gotta be stewards of the land.
Yeah, 'cause this was all grown up and they saw that, they were pickled tanks.
Last year, it took us weeks to cut the trails open after the big storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spent weeks out there.
Yeah,
If you had ever had to get fire equipment out there, you'd have never done it.
Yeah, we spent weeks cleaning the roads out.
yeah, we
I
had
guess
16
you did.
bones.
Everybody
Yeah.
did.
It's like a bomb went off.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
the good old April storm. Good thing Jen's not here. She curses.
We were around for the one we had like 30 years ago. Somebody said this one was worse, and I'm like, I don't know.
No, the ice
97?
storm,
The ice storm we had.
Oh, the
about
ice
30
storm.
that was
That
bad.
was worse than this.
That was
wasn't it?
bad.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Somebody told me it was worse, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, that was like inches of ice.
I had friends in that tower for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I walked.
Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
no,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, I walked out the door of my house the next morning from that, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything bent.
I'm going back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Birch trees bent right over.
Hopefully, never experience that again.
David, do you want to show them where they're gonna be meeting? When they do meet? I mean, they might know already, but,
In the gym, you said, right?
yeah.
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 There's tables right in there we can set up.
Tables,
You get them
chairs.
set up, chairs. and-
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Okay. I'll set that.
Good.
Yeah. And Aaron's gonna be opening for you.
Yep.
I'll make sure you have his number.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it because we're a Parsonsfield club.
Mhm.
I'm glad we're having our meetings in Parsons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty.
All right, very good. Well,
Perfect.
thank you for coming in.
All right. Hopefully, we'll make something
We will
work
be in
between
touch.
us all. And,
Yeah.
get you guys out there and take a ride, and you'll end up going and buying a wheel.
Time seems to be of the essence.
So they see the
We'll
price.
try and get back to you.
You want
quickly.
some?
Yeah.
Although it's gonna, it may be
What's that?
difficult with no
What's your
meeting.
paper?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We'll
We get
get
it?
back to you as soon as we can.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I'll be able to ride my wheel by the end of the summer.
There you go.
Four operations.
Get some better tires and get that out there.
Exactly.
Good to go.
Oh, this thing's a miracle. Get your mobility back.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Have a good
Be
evening.
careful offering rides. I might take you up on it.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll show you the problem.
Absolutely.
I'd like to go too.
Take care.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be having a ride for veterans. Well, you can jump in with us. Yeah,
Well,
let us know. In
I'll go if these guys going.
there's a lot of. It's not like riding a cross country bike. I mean,
I'm from
Motocross
Washington
bike.
County.
it's got nice,
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
nice suspension on them.
Yeah.
All right, have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Wow, that's a new.
Yeah. My guess is they didn't get notified a month and a half before deadline up there.
No, I'm sure they
They had time
got,
to prepare,
I'm sure that they have a spend for it. I mean,
yeah.
up there,
knew
they,
about it
you
a couple
know,
weeks ago, but I don't know about. I can't imagine the state wanting towns. They're in different counties.
well, because there's less of a problem with paying contractors with towns versus clubs.
Right. Towns are
So,
stable. I mean,
yeah, that's-
clubs,
Yeah.
people come and go.
Yeah.
People come and go here, but still the town is stable.
But how often do you pay for an outside group?
Well, and the clubs up there are huge.
Oh, right, yeah, I
It's,
know, that's
you know.
their, that's a livelihood up there,
Yeah.
so,
Probably where all the rest of the ATVs in Parsonsfield are going.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's it. You pop it on a trailer and take it
Yeah.
wherever wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snowmobile clubs up there. I mean, the money they must spend on grooming trails and things
Yeah.
like that. You go up there and it's a ski groomer that's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the trails, and it's like a highway.
Motels all over the place,
Yeah.
places to eat.
Yeah, it definitely takes some strategy to get the 90, because the 90%, like they're going to cover the other percentage. They'd have to reimburse the town for that.
Yeah, they said they could cover that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd have to have an agreement in place with them to cover
Right.
the difference, and
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
logistically, I think it'll be tough to do it in 45 days.
Yeah.
And then, on top of that, committing,
Yes, it's.
$12,000 to
in the
$20,000 a
part.
month.
That is the only place.
That even though it's going to be reimbursed, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the only place you can see it.
yeah,
Are we supposed to appropriate money for it if we don't have an article for it?
I don't- it's always been like
Yeah,
that.
that's tough. Jeez.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Err.
Nor do they put, you don't put in,
But,
Overcount.
yeah, I mean, makes sense for them to do the
No, we have to pay
you know,
for
the-
one county that
their
100,000 or something.
club grant this year, and
Not
then
either.
see what we can do for next year.
Right.
So I don't know.
Where is it? You're supposed to put 40 grand into the school.
40 grand into the school.
Yeah, for that would
It's for revenues. Yeah.
go. To offset the expense of the school, the part.
Right, but it just goes into revenues, it doesn't go to the school.
That's what we're gonna work on.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The 40 doesn't go to the school, it just goes into the revenues here. It's just decreasing what we're paying in a roundabout way.
I think the only update I had is was emailing with Josie Nielsen from
Oh, yeah.
Rec,
Yep.
and told her that we hadn't budgeted anything. If there was anything that they had, she said they didn't have any bases, they didn't have any benches. And I said, what they had in sort of rec council funds available to help kind of offset any cost that the town could potentially do. And she said she would bring it up to the board and see what they can get us. So,
Why can't you make wooden benches? Like what's
I mean, you
out there
could.
now, but
you could, but I was looking to get a bench that we could set outside, and then once T-ball season was over, you could bring them in and have them in here. If somebody's going to use the benches in the gym, they could use them.
are you talking like that type
no,
of benches or
not
just the
bleachers,
one?
just like a one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that we could use for that. But
Gotta make sure our security cameras are working well.
yes, yeah, I did go out there when I got here this morning, so it was nice and windy for me to go see. And there's about 80% of home plate visible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And the part that's visible is very weather worn. So,
Yeah.
but I was looking at replacing that and some other things. Reached out to, I think I told you guys, I reached out to a couple of people about fixing it up. So, still looking at the 27th. So looking at that day to do that.
Mhm.
So hopefully it'll work and we can. They're excited to use the field. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I don't have much going on, working on the ARPA reporting,
Yep.
which we're gonna have to take another look at. 'Cause
Yeah.
The way things are allocated within the reporting and the way we allocated them.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a tight squeeze. I'm putting together a spreadsheet that hopefully will break things down the way exactly what we have.
Okay.
And go from there, so
Good.
we can look at that next week.
Are we able to use? So if we end up having to move something out of something that we had previously assigned that we're not able to use ARPA funds for, are we able to find a use for those funds anymore, or are those funds kind of gone?
Well, no, they aren't gone.
Okay.
No, no. I believe I can reallocate them within the ARPA reporting.
Good. Haven't heard back from Civic Plus. I don't know if she's on vacation this week or. So hopefully it's not a situation where she's on vacation, then I'm on vacation, and yeah. So, but nothing's changed.
Yeah, she's been pretty good at getting back.
She had been, yeah. Oh, that attorney that I had reached out to back in March.
Yeah,
I don't know if you were on the email. I think so. You saw that James
oh, yes, yeah.
Castificus,
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, didn't realize we moved as quickly as we did, but yeah, so I was just going to reach out back to him and say, thank you. We'll keep you in mind if we need somebody for
Right,
a secondary for zoning board or whatever.
yeah.
Hey, you two.
Hey, Jess,
Are we live?
we are live.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we gonna get something to protect the phone? I get really nervous about it in my pocket. I don't, it's
You know, we can buy something.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. What
What kind of phone
I was
is
gonna say,
it?
what model is it? Oh, so it's on it. Perfect.
I'll leave it with you for a minute. We
Yeah,
don't know
Debbie,
what's going
did-
on.
Did she get it working?
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
haven't gotten it working yet.
Okay,
I've called them 4 times and left messages,
yeah. Yeah,
and
no.
they say somebody will call you in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Well, if you're
went
not
in-
getting calls, then,
Huh?
if you're not getting calls, how's that gonna work?
I gave them my phone number.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$9.
Yeah, that's about what I spent on mine.
Yep. Got the bids posted to website,
Good.
and Deb was getting the ads for the paper, and I think Danielle was getting them posted to Facebook as well.
Okay, good.
Whopping $9.
Oh man. Is it a good one though?
I mean, define good.
Is there any?
Good. It fits.
Fits. That's the
It
key.
fits.
It fits, and it'll protect against.
I've got a $9 one, maybe $8 even.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will be beneficial because now I'll take it and have Gorilla Glass put over it,
Yeah.
and then put the shield on it.
Yeah.
Extra
That
layer
way,
of
it doesn't get
protection.
scratched all up.
Well, that and that's just an extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. They have a way of smashing themselves up anyway.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
Don't forget to send me those.
Yep.
The what was it? April or May of last year. I got your March one that you sent.
You need maize.
I need all of the end of last year. If you want to either forward me the digital ones or scan it, whichever's easier.
Okay. Yep.
And that way because I'll gotta get those uploaded.
Oh, May.
May of 24 to February now, because you sent me
Okay.
March, so
Okay.
February
Okay.
of 25.
I'll go get them.
Awesome, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if Jen had anything because she's doing the food drive thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and see how it's going, see what they got there.
Yeah. Yeah, for those of you listening, food drive going on right now at Town Hall. Youthful Maine comes in, they bring a bunch of food goods. They come in every month. They usually have a pretty good selection. So swing on in. Just because I can't stand silence, I'll sit in here and talk to myself. But for those of you listening, April 27th, 11 a.m. is when I'm looking to do the field cleanup. So if there's anybody out there that wants to help, please feel free to come by. If that time changes, we'll announce it through the Facebook page, posted on the website. But right now, we're looking at the 27th at 11. Yeah, I'm just talking to myself. You've already left, and it felt awkward that I was just sitting here in silence.
Is this still
So,
on?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they all just ran away.
Well,
So I was talking.
Why
No,
does it even need to be on if you're not? It's just you and David.
yeah, and we didn't have anything, so I thought we were going to end it, but he just walked out instead of doing that. So, yeah,
Well, I've already asked David this, and I've talked to Jen about it. I asked several weeks ago, David, if I could leave at 5 on Mondays and get home and watch the meeting, do notes. If I have any questions, I can email it in or not. He hemmed and hawed on it. Jen's for it.
yeah,
When I leave here at 6:37, I don't get home until 8 o'clock.
yeah.
And it's late. I mean, it's a long day for work.
Little guy's escaping.
Oh. Thank God he's not going out the door, though.
Yeah,
So, I didn't really get an answer from David. I know Jen's for it. I am tired the next day. I mean, that's like a 12-hour,
right.
day for me. So,
Yeah,
what are your feelings? I mean, if there's something really important, I would stay,
right.
but,
Yeah.
it's-
No, I don't know that it's necessary that you stay. I mean,
yeah.
and technically, you're from an hour standpoint, you should be leaving at 6 anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so but if you're
but,
doing,
but I have those couple hours for GA and phone calls and stuff like that.
yeah, and if you're doing emails
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't see any, foresee any
But I'll
issue
have
with
to
it.
bring it up when he's in here and
Yeah.
all three of you, so thank you, Aaron.
No problem.
Just wanted to ask about that.
Yeah,
If I was 50 years old, I'd say, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is, but it's also like, you know, if we're paying you for 34 and
36.
36,
Yeah.
right, and you're here for 36 plus the meeting, then, you know, you've got to back that time out somewhere. So
Yeah,
it's-
well-
it doesn't make sense anyway that, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that's
Okay,
on my list of
Yeah.
things that need to be fixed.
okay. I'm gonna go get Jesse because his phone's not working and working with trap phone. He has to be here. I need his phone in
Yeah.
order to do it, so I'm gonna go get him.
Okay. I'll continue to sit in here
Get
while
by
I'm
yourself.
talking to myself.
Yeah. Don't need anything else.
Gluten-free bread.
If you don't have anything else, do you want to just close the workshop?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I think we're done here today, folks, so
Okay, move to close.
we're gonna
Move to
sign
adjourn.
off. Yep, thanks for joining us. Again, no select board meeting on Monday. It's a holiday, town office will not be open, there's no coffee hour. We will have a workshop next Thursday, though. All right, see ya.